Steven Ortman. How you doing, buddy? It's Thanksgiving time. You know what that means?
Oh, it means Thanksgiving. Turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes all slathered in gravy. I can't wait.
You know what else it means?
Oh, I feel you. I feel you.
It means all-area football.
Football. Oh, football all day. And then you got TH all-area football team. You wake up in the morning. It's like Christmas morning on Thanksgiving, isn't it?
It's like a whole section of football goodness. I mean, what more could you really ask for?
I don't know. What more could you ask for?
You know, in the spirit of things, to commemorate the holiday, why don't you give this little football a boot? You know, we did that episode. You know, kick some field goals. You did really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why don't, I did. I'll hold it. I'll set it up for you. Why don't you give this a boot and just see if you can make one.
Down that hallway down there?
Just boot it down the hallway.
Now, hang on a second. I've seen Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I've seen it 100 times. You're not going to pull the football away, are you?
No, Steve, would I do that to you?
Tim, we're friends, we're co-workers, we love football, all-area football's coming out. You're not going to pull the football away, are you?
I promise I won't pull the football out.
You swear in the honor of Thanksgiving.
I swear to God I will not pull the football out.
All right, I trust you. Let's kick a football. Right through the uprights in honor of Thanksgiving. Don't pull the ball away.
I promise.
You're good.
Hey, Tim.
What? Oh man, I love Thanksgiving. Such a joyous time of year with family and friends. Gotta do anything for a piece of pumpkin pie right now.
Well, Steve, some traditions just never die. You want a piece of pie?
Pumpkin pie, Tim O'Neill. You're full of surprises, buddy. I can really use this right now. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Hello everyone, welcome to a special Thanksgiving edition. Oh, turkey's running around here. Anyways, Thanksgiving edition. More in the Score, presented by Dubuque Bank & Trust and Dubuque Auto Plaza. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I am your host, Steve Ortman, alongside Tim O'Neill. Tim, it's a festive time of year. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm eager for this holiday, and you know what the best part about the fourth Thursday of every November is, Steve?
Turkey.
No.
Stuffing.
No.
Mashed taters.
No.
No? What?
Telegraph Herald All-area football. The entire nation comes together.
Yes.
Families gather. They have a nice turkey meal with all of those things you mentioned.
Yeah.
And they go together through the annual Telegraph Herald All-area football team.
Yes.
It's a great time for every family across the nation.
It is a great time for all the families across the nation. Is that the first thing you do in the morning? Crack open the all-area football team?
Well, no, I'm gonna have a nice big plate of turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes. And then after I take a nice long nap, then I will go through the all-area football team.
Well, you've been working hard on it. But Tim, do you really think people all across the nation are looking at the TH all-area football team?
Well, I do, Steve. I mean, you're gonna look at it, right?
I am.
I'm gonna look at it. Paul, are you gonna look at it? Well, I mean, that's 3 for 3. I know it's a small sample size, but so far we're at 100%.
We are.
So if you just extrapolate that across the nation, I think you will see we've got pretty good coverage there.
All right. Well, a lot of people looking forward to it. TH all-area team, Thanksgiving morning, revealed. And when you look at Player of the Year, you're talking about a running back that had one of the best seasons at Bellevue High School history. Peter Kilberg, a senior running back, was fantastic for the Bellevue Comets this year. They finished 10-1. They set a program record for wins in a season, total points in a season, and Peter Kilberg himself had unarguably the best season for a running back in Bellevue history. He broke or tied 6 school records. He broke 5, tied another. For yards in a game, he had 291. That broke the old school record. For yards in a season, he had 2,141 rushing yards. That broke the season mark, program history. And yards in a career, he totaled 2,738 career yards. That broke the school record books as well. And as far as touchdowns, in a season, he broke the record with 31 total touchdowns. He broke the career touchdown mark with 37 career touchdowns. And he tied for the most touchdowns in a game with 5 this season. So it really was a remarkable year for Peter Kilberg. We had a chance to catch up with him at Bellevue High School, talk to him about his season, talk to him about winning the award. So let's throw it to that footage.
It started kind of slow. I wasn't really working the hardest in the weight room, was kind of just going through the motions, and Coach Kinnick sent me down for a meeting one day over the summer and said, Hunter Clausen's that was right on my tail, and that if I wanted the starting position, that I'd really have to get down and work for it. So I took that as a personal challenge, and I just started working hard over the summer, and come camp time, I earned the starting role.
And what did that mean to you?
Oh, it meant a lot to me, because last year I really would have liked it, but I had to accept my role at a different place, which was okay. But knowing that I had the starting role secured down, it really meant a lot to me.
What will be some of your favorite memories from the season?
Definitely the West Branch game, beating those guys on homecoming on our home field for the first time ever. That game is definitely going to stand out. And then the Clayton Ridge game, where we made the comeback victory, and then I was able to break the single game record. That really meant a lot to me, because that was kind of one of my goals at the beginning of the season, trying to break that.
Okay, and what comes to mind when realizing you broke or tied 6 school records this year and have become the greatest running back to ever play for Bellevue?
Just hard work pays off, I guess. I mean, the two goals of mine coming in were the single season and the single game record. And once I had those down and I just kept breaking more and more, I realized that all the hard work over the summer really paid off for me, and that really felt good to know that.
So what would you tell any young athletes kind of coming into their high school career, working hard for this? What advice would you say to them?
Start early. Don't start so late like I did. Work hard early your freshman year, because with a coach like Coach Kinnick, he'll play you regardless of age. So definitely start and work your butt off early, and you'll get playing time.
Congratulations to Peter Kilberg on a fantastic season for the Bellevue Comets. Kilberg, obviously one of the great players in the tri-state area. That's him. We kind of pieced together that all-area football team. Talk a little bit about some of the other first-teamers that kind of really stood out to us.
Well, Kilberg was tough choice for Player of the Year. I mean, when you look at just running backs alone, there were 3 guys in the area who ran for more than 2,000 yards.
Wow.
So Kilberg, picked on top of Hunter Johnson from Darlington, who ran for almost 2,100 yards and more than 40 touchdowns. He was last year's TH Player of the Year, and had another fantastic season. And then Evan Gates from Lancaster also rushed for more than 2,000 yards and about 29 touchdowns, I believe. Always a tough competition to be the first team running back for all area, but those are the guys, along with Cam Kramer from Western Dubuque, that won out the battle at there. And then as you go across the rest of the team, like most years, when the teams go deep, they're going to be well represented. That's the case with Darlington and Schulzburg, who reached the state championship game in Wisconsin. And then on the Iowa side, Bellevue's going to have a lot of good representation. Hempstead Senior and Western Dubuque are right there. And then, Clayton Ridge. Clayton Ridge had a solid team, had a few guys named All-State. They got some guys dotting the all-area team there. So, it's always a tough process to kind of pick and compare guys from one state to another. And, when you're talking about guys playing at 4A and comparing them against guys who play Division VII in Wisconsin, that's a big drop-off as far as competition and school size. Some of those schools they're playing are 1,600 students, and on the small end, the Division VII schools are playing schools that have 100, 200 students. So a lot goes into compiling the team, and just congratulations to all the great players who made it this year.
Sure, and it's a tough selection process up and down the board. And same thing when it comes to Coach of the Year. Had a few strong candidates this year, but it was hard to ignore what Schulzberg was able to do this year.
Yeah, it was Scott Machi of Schulzberg. You know, they went 3-6 last year. I covered them playing up at the Six Rivers Conference Jamboree to start the season, and they blew out Hillsborough. And Machi told me after that game that he was looking for that to really set the tone for them this season. Last year in that game, they got blown out, and it set the tone for a very disappointing season. A lot of the players from that team came back and turned it around. You know, it was an 8-game improvement. They went 3-6 in 2015. This year they went 12-3. Now one of those wins was a forfeit win, so really there were 11 contested victories for Schulzberg, an 8-win improvement. And then they got to the state final for the first time in program history, and they beat some really good teams on the way to get there. They avenged one of their regular season losses in the playoffs, and you know, Schulzberg just put it all together and made a really nice run. Unfortunately, just came up a little bit short in the state championship game, but a nice job done by Coach Machi and his coaching staff up there to really turn the Miners around from a disappointing season and bring home a silver trophy.
Yeah, it was a great year for our area football teams, and the all-area football team kind of wraps up football. And as we move forward here, it's just about winter time. We're going to be getting into boys basketball, girls basketball, wrestling as well. We're going to have it for you on our Twitter page at TH Sports Feed, as well as on Facebook, Telegraph Herald Sports on Facebook. But for now, let's celebrate Thanksgiving.
I'm going to eat a lot.
He's a straight shooter, folks. He's going to call it like he sees it. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score, presented by Dubuque Bank and Trust and Dubuque Auto Plaza. I am your host, Steve Ortman. He's Tim O'Neill. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Did you see that turkey go by?